All empires face collapse, and no empire will be able to succeed beyond it. That is what history has shown us. And we have right now the US empire facing its own demise, and many people are not willing to admit it. But it is ultimately those who admit it and those who prepare in advance who will succeed. So there are many billionaires right now warning about a financial calamity taking place, and Warren Buffett is one of those individuals. And so what he says here, most importantly, is that they're talking about gold bugs, and they're saying that they have a right to be afraid of paper money. Their basic premise that paper money around the world is going to be worth less and less over time is absolutely correct. They have the correct basic premise. They should run from paper money. I totally agree with him in that statement, because paper money is undoubtedly going to be worth less today than it was last year and the year before and so on. He knows what I'm talking about. Now, of course, he has a sweetheart insider deals that he gets, so he's playing a different game. But the things that he is saying is absolutely true. Let's take a look at who else is saying this kind of information. Donald Trump, the big billionaire, tells Americans to prepare for financial ruin. They don't have to care about you and what you do, but now they're getting to the point where they realize that this ship is sinking and they need to warn others before they're unable to get all their assets out of the country. That's what's happening. They're basically thinking, you know what, I can make money off a recession. I'll put my money in, and when it comes back up, I'll make a fortune. However, they're really looking at this right now like the ship is sinking, and Donald Trump is just one more. Steve Forbes, link dollar to gold or face depression too. He's worried about this because of the Federal Reserve and their monetary policies. They are just printing and printing money, giving it to everyone around the world recklessly, pushing interest rates all the way down to the bottom, historically knowing that debasing the currency in all other empires, that by debasing the currency, you will ultimately fail because people will lose trust in the fake money and it will go towards the good money. That's just the way this works. That's something that I talked about in my book over and over and over again. Now, this right here is Robert Kiyosaki. I'll go into just a few things that he said. I'm prepared for the worst. I'm preparing. We have food, water, guns, gold, silver, and cash. He also said that when the credit card system shuts down, the world shuts down. And further down, he mentions the fact that there is only 3 days of food in the supermarket. This is an individual who has multiple businesses. He is well diversified, and yet he's still buying simple things like food and water because he knows the truth. He has done the research. He is talking to the experts, and they are advising him to prepare. So that's what I'm here to do for you guys, is tell you to prepare. I'll get into the reasons why you need to do that in a second. Just go into one more. Even Tony Robbins is warning that an economic collapse is coming. This is a motivational speaker, the biggest one in the world, and he is saying that we are headed for a major collapse. Now, you don't think that he is necessarily accredited to tell you about the financial collapse occurring, but he does speak with exclusively high net worth individuals that are billionaires, and he will deal with them. So he is privy to the information that we are not. So it is important to take his advice in this case. And even the Pope is talking about a global economy being close to collapse and basically talking about the unemployment rates. So the Pope is suggesting this now because he wants collectivism, and obviously when you have chaos, when you have the riots, you're going to have a much of a different story than what he is trying to achieve. Let's look at some of the real issues that are going on here. The national debt, state and local debt, consumer debt. All of these things added up, compiled. There are no components, no factors which would send a positive signal to the economy in any way, shape, or form. We're talking about tens of trillions of dollars in every category. Is the Federal Reserve going to have to bail them all out? Because I believe that it may certainly come to that. The trade deficit. There are no jobs, something I talk about all the time. The credit crunch. There's just basically no way that the system can function like this. There's the housing crisis, something that I talked about all the time. There are millions upon millions of empty homes in the United States, something that they will refuse to talk about. Rising bankruptcies. You know how many people are claiming bankruptcy, filing for bankruptcy because they are in their 2 and 3 jobs and they can't make the payments on all of their things. They are pushed up to the maximum, and this is what happens. The pension crisis. Obviously, the baby boomers presenting a big crisis for the future when already we're at redlining levels and it is going into the negative. It is once again going to be the future taxpayers who have to foot the bill. The derivatives bubble, something that was the actual central theme of the Money GPS, talking about how a $1.5 quadrillion bubble exists upon all of this other financial fraud and could destroy the entire world. Last but not least, the Federal Reserve, the lender of last resort, the goon squad of the US, of the bankers, of the elite that sit on top of the United States. That's who they are, and they are the ultimate reason why the US empire will fall. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I just want to note that as of this upload, I have exceeded 1 million views on YouTube. That is something so great to see because it really signals to me that people are interested in liberty, people want to know the truth, and they are sick and tired of the mainstream media. If you want more information, you need to be an insider. That is at themoneygps.com. At the bottom, you fill in your email address and you get occasional emails from me with short and concise info. Hope to see you there.